Okay, consent items. Call for any item to be considered separate from the consent items.
Well, I'm going to make everyone aware that there is a correction sheet in front of us on the minutes from whichever day that was, 120. We're adding in regarding the school-wide calendar, adding in the correction to the tentative start date for the following year.
Only off all the
Only Rob got it? Only you got it. I was the only one got it? Oh, okay. There's a correction sheet that was in front of me that, as I said, added, written correction to tentative start date, reading 2011-2012 will be August 9th.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Be separated? Commissioner Gutierrez, second by Nelson. All in favor? Sorry. Student board member.
Aye.
Okay. Now call for
Aye.
aye. 5 ayes, no nays. Tropical Middle School, Smoozer. Mr. Smith.
Put on it. If they're ready, are they ready?
Paraphrase.
We're here tonight to present to you a proposal that Pyramid Nation would like to do next Friday as an assembly on the 26th about bullying. We're calling our drama Enough is Enough. It's adapted from the Not in Our Schools program that we read about in the papers in December. It was originally started by Senior Melissa Ward at Palmdale High School, and so we're not doing the exact program, but we're adapting it with our key points of addressing the issue of bullying to show students how bullying looks. It doesn't look like it used to. To demonstrate the extreme effects bullying can have on students. It is just like it was with regard to that in the Del Sur program, where we are recognizing 7 students who took their lives, and we will have their pictures up, and we have students on our campus who will look very similar to those students to get that point really hit home. But we aren't condoning it. Their students had to write their own eulogies based off of the bios off of these 7 students, so we will be addressing that. And to focus awareness and help students realize that enough is enough. We are taking back our campus. Not that it's a huge issue on our campus, but we want them to understand that we are going to take them. So this is what our students, I have 23 students in Pyramid Nation. We've been working on this since the 4th of January. Students will act out 2 age-appropriate skits displaying how bullying looks. They will be reading eulogies of students who have actually taken their own lives. And students will present statistics about bullying and how it affects attendance and self-esteem. You are all cordially invited to come. We are having 2 assemblies, one at 1 in the afternoon and one at 2 in the afternoon. And I've been speaking with Ms. Lacey. She tells me I need to speak with Ms. Ramos. We're going to try and have school psychologists on site. Not that we anticipate anything, but I would hate to have this information put before students and not have the students have the ability to speak to somebody if they feel like they're in one of these categories.
What was the
Question
date?
was the date?
February 26th, next Friday.
It's also in your board packet that I gave you at the time.
As your past AOC advisor.
To check you out. Is that good?
Yeah.
Oh, information.
And you're doing a good job, I'm very proud of you.
Questions from anybody? On the grade levels, span of all 3 grade levels, or is it just 8th graders? Or?
No, all 3 grade levels.
2 assemblies so we can get them all out.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to thank them for being proactive on this. I know that Mr. Smith came to me a long time ago and said he would volunteer to get involved in this, get some training, go back to different courses. She's always been on the ball with these things, so I just want to say thanks for them for stepping forward to be proactive for that school, to help it carry through. Thank you.
Okay, item B, review joint agreement between SKUSD and Lisbon Community Service District.
Mr. President, this was for any of you to take a look at if you had any questions. This has gone through legal counsel. When we come back, Mr. Jack Stewart said he would like to be here at the next board meeting if he had any questions that may come up, or if we can get them to him before then if we have questions regarding that, the contract. The difference to this contract is that we want not just for United Street, but to update that part of it. Then the new Hamilton school site, we've got to quit calling United Street. We want to include West Park, we want to include Tropico, we want to include the high school, include all the schools into this. So we, by doing so, generates more funds for the school district. They have some funds to do things that we cannot do. Once it's there, we do maintain it because it's on our property. But the more we get them involved, the more we can share monies and properties and get more for the students and for the community. That's basically what we want to do to this contract. That's it. Nothing different.
Okay. Mr. Van Harmon, I would like to set up a time with you to actually just go through this thing, because there's a lot of language that could definitely be worded better, and possibly even with the rewording make it to where it actually makes some sense.
Okay?
In addition, today CSBA put out their little update on their webpage, and the last item on it was opening school grounds to a community after hours, a toolkit for increasing physical activities through joint use agreements. And the key thing that I even highlighted on the one page, the last sentence, when properly written, joint use agreements can help school districts, local governments, and community-based organizations share the cost and responsibility of keeping school property open after hours. Key thing I saw in here is share the cost, and I saw in here that we're absorbing all the costs. So we need to look and see if there is some other approach that we can take. I know that we have contractual issues with our unions, but we need to see if there's some other approach that we can take to be able to share some more of the costs.
Take West Park, for example, sharing the cost. They're basically, what we put up, we're going to put up about $300,000 on $1 million project. They're doing the rest of it. Their shares, they're putting it in there. We have to maintain it because the Ed Code dictates what we can and cannot do with outside entities. I mean, our union groups have certain rights, and that's one of them. So the shared responsibility is that even in the programs, they'll provide the programs, we don't have to pay for it. They're helping with the cost of putting in the major part of a playground, skate park. It's still on our property, we're still responsible for it, but their insurance does cover it. So it's kind of a, how are you going to determine what is going to be shared when they're doing this? We're providing the property and the means to get it out there. By doing so, they'll be able to write grants and get more money, which means with this joint agreement, shared responsibilities, however you want to write it up, we'll end up getting even more money. So yeah, we can get together on that. When I call you on the other issues, I'll call you on that too.